Welcome. I've been expecting you. Blue holes or red holes. Good day, family. Welcome once again to another YouTube channel with me, your host, Mathix Masangu. It's been a minute. And so some of you are going to stay plugged into the matrix. I'm not plugging you out today. It's July. It's winter here. I know some of you are watching this from somewhere else in the northern hemisphere and it's summer there. Yeah, it's winter here. But once again, welcome to another YouTube channel with me, your host, Mathix Masangu. We're back at it again. First of all, don't forget to follow me. Not only here, but also on my podcast on Awakening Conversations with Mathix. Did they change the apps? No, it's still the same. You can find me on Spotify and you can also find me on Anchor. Now, since we're on YouTube, don't forget to like and to subscribe to the channel so that you can get more videos in future when I make them. So today, as I promised on the last video, I will be talking to you about chakras. Chakras, however way you want to call them or whatever name you know them as. Those are the energy centers within our bodies. Now, one thing I will tell you though is that my channel is not necessarily a 101. So I'm giving you homework. I'm giving you a task to go do basic research on what the chakras are. That's your task. Everything I talk about, I encourage you to go look further, dig for the truth. Don't just take my word for it. Go look for it, confirm it, not only within yourself, but go look for the truth elsewhere. See what other people are saying. Google it, Wikipedia. You know, don't just take my word. Oh, this guy, he sounds legit. No, that's ignorant. You can't just listen to me and think that I'm truthful. No, you must research things. And anyone who's telling you not to research things, you must be like, hey, any religion, any person, any system that doesn't want you to look outside of that system, any teacher that doesn't want you to listen to other teachers, there's something there because you are an infinite being. So you must be well-rounded in your knowledge. Your knowledge or a circle is 360 and you must have 360 degrees of knowledge. You can't just have half of a circle. You can't just have half of this. You must have the whole thing. You must want the whole thing. So on today's channel, I'm going to be talking to you about chakras. Now, as I said that, this is not necessarily a 101 where I'm going to be giving you the basics. I might slide in the basics there and there, but from the ground value, I'm getting deep with it because I'm expecting you, if this video is deep or any of my other videos, to go back to the basics, research, and then you can come back and watch this. So now, you have multiple chakras. There are 7 major chakras that are known, but you have multiple chakras. Your whole body is a chakra. Now, what is a chakra? A chakra is a Sanskrit word which means a spinning wheel. So a chakra is a spinning wheel, a vortex, and you have multiple of them. So you have multiple vortexor, which is multiple chakras. Now, these chakras are where your consciousness is locked in. The moment you are born, your consciousness is sealed within these 7 chakras, which they speak about in the book of Revelation as the 7 seals. What's a seal? A seal is something that you lock. It's a scroll. So you have been sealed 7 times. Many times, but you have 7 major chakras. So now these seals are how you, as the divine, as the infinite, condenses itself into physicality in order for you to experience this particular realm. Because if you came here knowing everything that you were, your body wouldn't be able to contain the power and the vibration and the frequency that your soul really is. So what has to happen is that there has to be a forgetting. There has to be a forgetting of self. And that forgetting happens through the process of condensation, which we call involution. So as the highest God, as a supreme unmanifest mind, you involve into the body and then you evolve. So there's a process of involution, which is masculine. So let me tell you this process. When your mom and your dad had sex, what happened was The sperm, which is a program, it's a seed, it's an intention, it's masculine. So the seed, the intention, the potential starts from the testicles, which is the testimony, to testify as God in flesh. So from the testicles, the sperm swims up your father's spine, which is what they call the digit pillar, the staff of Moses, the rod. That pillar right there, your spinal cord, it's very important. It's very important. It's very symbolic. It's the caduceus. It's the staff of Hermes. It's the wand in Harry Potter. You know, a wand has that line, then it has that thing at the top, that round, that's your head. Your whole body, from your spine upward, that's a wand. It's the magic wand. Abracadabra, all of that process takes place through the spine. So now what happens is that the sperm, it swims up your father's spine, and then it travels into these particular chakras on an etheric level, and it collects data, information, and then it enters into the father's head through what they call the mouth of God in Gnosticism. They call it the mouth of God. So they say that man shall not live on bread alone, but out of every word that cometh from where? From the mouth of God. Why do they call this place the mouth of God? It's the medulla oblongata. It's the most, or one of the most highly concentrated parts on your body that has melanin in it. The medulla is also what we call your Akashic records, which is where the information of your past lives are stored. You have your own personal Akasha, and then there's a collective Akasha. So the sperm enters through the medulla oblongata, and then it goes and swims into the third ventricle, which in the West, in the East, they call it the cave of Brahma. That's why when you watch movies, the hero always has to go into a cave and there's darkness, and then within there's enlightenment. So they call these the dark passages, the cave of Brahma, and within the third ventricle within the brain. Because understand that all of the Bible and all of these things is about the human body, the anatomy. This is the body of God. And you have to now bring it into a state of alchemy so that it transforms from a physical into a spiritual. You are a seed that must become spiritual, that must grow. So when the sperm enters into the father's third ventricle, it gets baptized by the soul, which sits at the pineal gland. And then it swims back down the spine, and then it shoots out into the mother, which represents the physical world. So the father represents the mental, the unseen, the invisible. And then when it shoots out of the mother, that is now the spirit beginning, or the soul beginning to now, and it begins to enter the physical, the mother, the manifest. The father is the unmanifest. The mother is the manifest. So it enters or it shoots out through the father's phallus, and then it enters into the mother's yoni, which is a portal. And then from there on, you begin to now form. Your material body begins to be formed. And then now the whole process begins. So when your mother gives birth to you, you have to repeat the same process that happened within your father, but now consciously. That's why Jesus says that who's this man? Who's this homie? How could I forget my friend? It's not Shadrach. Nicodemus asked God, he asked Jesus, he says, yo, begalana man, how can a man be born again if I can't go back? How can I be born if I can't go back into my mother's womb? He says, unless a man is born again by the renewing of the mind, he cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. So you are born again by what? By the renewing of the mind, which means now the same process that happened as the sperm swam up those vortex, or collecting information, data on all levels, because the chakras within themselves represent different data. They represent different planetary placement. They represent different planes of existence, different dimensions, different levels of thinking. That's what the chakras are. So now you have to repeat that process that the sperm took, but now consciously, psychically. So you have to rise into the knowledge of the root chakra, which deals with survival. You have to ascend past that and get into the knowledge of the sacral chakra, which deals with sexuality. You have to understand and master your sexuality. You have to ascend consciously. You have to ascend into the third chakra, which deals with power. So you have to understand, you have to have willpower, the ability to think things and manifest them in the physical through the solar plexus, because you live in a solar system governed by Ra, or the sun, which is light. And then you ascend further into the heart space, which deals with abundance, love, and connectivity. You have to understand that you and all things are connected. That's you now ascending. You're being initiated into the secrets of the heart, the mysteries of the heart. The heart is one of the most important ones. My advice, go for the heart. Choose the heart. When you choose the heart, the whole universe opens up to you like a book, and you can just read everything. The next thing, you ascend into the throat, which deals with truth. So now this is where you step into the realm of speaking your truth and affirming your truth of who you are as a physical being, who you are as a spiritual being, who you are as a soul. And then you ascend consciously, psychically, mentally into the third eye, which deals with what? With vision and insight. Now, this is when you are illuminating this one now. This is the Bendu seed, where you ignited. That's where the cave of Brahma is. There's a light within you, which they call Amen Ra. Amen means hidden. Ra is light. So there's a hidden light within you that you must activate through consciousness. So you must do work while you are still alive. That's going to propel you at your point of death into the next state, so that you may escape physicality. Because here you are trapped within the cycle of rebirth, which they call the Ouroboros, the snake biting its own tail, because you are under light speed. You have to vibrate faster than the physical light for you to escape it, so that you can exist in other dimensions. Otherwise, you are dictated by the activities of the sun here. You have to ignite the sun in here, so that you can, because your vibration at its core is faster than all this external. The external is a projection of your internal. So this is a holographic universe. You are projecting this holographically, and you are seeing this reality based on how you are thinking inside. So you see reality as you are, not as it is. How you are is how reality responds to you. That's how reality responds to you, according to how you are. And then the last ascension is into the crown chakra. Now that deals with universal connectivity. That's you being detached from all things physical. That's you being detached from even the idea that you are a person. That's me being detached from the fact that I call myself, or the people call me Mathix, or I'm Ndebele, this is my tribe, I'm a black person, I'm a human on earth. No, when you get to the crown chakra, that it's beyond that. I was never born and I will never die. That's the mysteries of the crown chakra. Now, these chakras open up in cycles of 7. Naturally, and you also have to do it consciously. That's what they call an awakening. When you begin to work with them on a conscious level. You know how your pubic hair will grow at a certain age and your voice will deepen, or women will begin their menstrual cycles on a natural level. There's another level where menstrual cycles are not just menstrual cycles, but they become a whole other thing, because you've been initiated into the mysteries of understanding blood. Blood is a liquid crystal. And then your menstrual cycle is not just a menstrual cycle now, it becomes something else. The same thing happens with chakras. The natural ascension into chakras happen in cycles of 7. Between the ages of 1 and 7, you are dealing with the root chakra, which deals with survival. That's why when you see kids, they say kids have 2 fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Hey, when you want to run away, come back. Hey, it's English trying to escape my tongue. I got you though, I got you. Bambi. From the ages of 0 to 7, you are dealing with survival, which is red. Yabonamai, I'm giving you the basics. The color is red. Survival. Kids fear of falling. You don't want to die. That's the body. It wants to survive. It's instinct. The body is intelligent. So that's what happens in those particular cycles. Now, the next cycle kicks in from the ages of 7 to 14. Now, that's when you are dealing with what? You are dealing with sexuality, which is your sacral chakra. That's when you begin to understand gender, that I am male, she is female. This is why you can see kids before a certain age, they can play with each other naked and they want to have thoughts on some, she's amazing, and or the girl thinking, oh, he's handsome, because the thoughts have not been initiated into that particular realm of thinking. So from the ages of 7 to 14, which is where now, like I said, puberty begins to kick in and the men and boys begin to have thicker voices, pubic hair, all these things develop. They begin to understand who they are on a sexual level. To understand yourself sexually is important, and as you grow even older, you're going to get initiated into another level of sexuality, which is where you understand that you are an androgynous being, primarily the gender that you are expressing yourself as, God, in the physical. You have both masculine and feminine within you, but in this particular incarnation, you may be experiencing or expressing yourself as male, for you feel that that's the particular incarnation or the particular energy signature that will help you to accomplish whatever purpose you have come here to achieve. So that's that second chakra. From the ages of 14 to 21, you are now dealing with solar plexus energy. That's willpower. That's where now you begin to understand who you are in this world as an individual. Usually this takes place around high school. That's where you begin to know yourself, establish yourself, who you are in the world, where you begin to really understand your own individuality. That's the power that's going to need to develop even further when you are now able to pull the understanding of the fact that you are a creator through thoughts. So what is going to happen at the crown is going to manifest through the solar plexus, because it's a solar energy. You are in a solar system. You are dealing with energy, solar light energy, and everything in the physical you manifest through the gut. That's why, like, I have a gut feeling. Or when you have to stand on stage or perform poetry, or you have to speak to certain people, you have an interview, most people feel it in the gut. Why? Because that energy system represents personal power. So that power begins to develop at the ages of 14 to 21, young mom. So now from 21 to 28, you get initiated into the mysteries of the heart. That's when now you begin to understand connectivity, where you begin to understand that who you are in the world is also reflected as to who the world is. So now you begin to understand that you and everything and everyone are connected. There is a connection. There is no separation. Most people, they don't get here on a mental level. They end at the solar plexus, but we'll talk about that in a few. So it's the mysteries of the heart. If anything, choose the heart. This is the one. This is the one. The mysteries of the heart. You have to ignite this green area. Abundance, love, prosperity. They are all here at the heart. This is where compassion is. This is where forgiveness is. This is where it is. Sometimes when you're feeling stressed, let me just give you a side one. When you do this, you have here what they call the thymus, and it releases a particular cell. They call them white T cells. When you just tap here, I think they call this part your sternum. When you just hit this, it calms you down. Even when you just do this, you just slightly tap on it. That's another way that you can work with your heart chakra. You just slightly hit this part right here. 21 to 28, you are dealing with this, the mysteries of the heart. Now, after that, also, before I jump into the next chakra, at the ages of 21, there is a seed. There is a seed that is triggered in the body, where now the soul begins to gravitate to what it is that the soul came here in this particular lifetime to do. That's when you begin to become drawn to certain things and activities, certain places and people, because that's now the triggering of the soul at the third cycle of 7 is very important. Most people at the ages around 21, it's not necessarily 21, but around those ages, they begin to have mystical experiences. Even if they're not mystical, they begin to see and feel different. and just be drawn to things that necessarily their families might not agree with, because now you are being drawn to what is going to happen at the next state, which is your throat chakra, which begins to now express or vocalize. This is where you express and vocalize your truth. What was drawing you here, you express it here. And that begins at the ages of 28 up to the ages of 35. You are initiated into the mysteries of the throat. Now, this is where truth comes in. This is where you begin to say and consciously affirm who you are in this world. You may necessarily, or this is where you could look your parents in the eyes and no, I don't want to follow this religion, or I don't want to do that. This because now you are initiated. This is truth. Each chakra deals with something. The root is survival, sexuality, as I was saying, power, the third, connectivity, truth. This deals with truth. You must speak your truth or else you will be blocked. You can block your chakras can be blocked, but this is something that you're going to have to go learn in the basics. Now, from 35 to 42, you get initiated now into the mysteries of vision, into the third eye, into the seed, into the cave of Brahma. This is where the enlightenment begins to happen. This is where now wisdom and discernment come in. That's why in the mysteries in ancient Kemet, they only taught people at a certain age, because then you would have you would have had certain experiences in the physical that will allow you to now understand the mysteries of this place, the Holy of Holies. Now you have entered the dome. This is where Christ was crucified. They call this Golgotha, the place of the skull. Golgotha means place of the skull. This is the holy mountain, Mount Sinai. All the mountains in the Bible that they speak about in every ancient book, in the Quran, whenever a prophet goes up into a mountain, it's the head. This is where enlightenment takes place, young mama. So now, after that, you get initiated into the last one. They call this the 1,000-petal lotus, the crown chakra. This is where now you detach from all things. You detach. This is your supremeness. This is the Christ consciousness area. This is where you get detached from ideas of even saying your name, of saying that I'm Mathix or I'm this person. No, this is where you begin to understand that you were never born and you will never die. This is this chakra. From the ages of 42 to 49, you were dealing with that. So now, how can a man be born again? By the renewing of the mind. The chakras are mental. They exist on a mental, psychic level. That's how you access them. They are worlds. They are universes. Planes of thinking, planes of being. Now, the world that we live in knows to a certain degree this knowledge, and they oh my God, they go out of their way to keep you locked out of certain levels of yourself. Because if you were to begin to access that as an individual, and then we begin to access these particular states within ourselves as a collective, this whole system is going to fall apart. It can't stand, because the higher you go, the more the frequencies get rapid. Truth begins to vibrate so rapid that nothing, when things are moving slow, like let's say water is moving very slow, things can begin to gather there, begin to form blockages. And those are the lower chakras. The frequencies are slow. Red has a very long wavelength. When you look at the color spectrum, the wavelengths of the colors differ. And even with the chakras, they differ. The higher up you go to the violet, the blue colors, the green, the wavelengths begin to become shorter. So if you were to draw a line like this, and then you draw the wavelength of each chakra, the reds and the orange and the yellows, they touch this line much fewer times than the violets, which is like this. So if this line represents truth, this society wants to keep you vibrating only at these lower chakras, which is who is in power. The people in power are dictated by the lower chakras, which deal with survival, which deal with sexuality. That's why they're always getting busted, either for women or for women sleeping with men and things like that, because they have not mastered that. They greedy, they want all the money to themselves. powered solar plexus. So most of the people in our world are stuck in these lower 3 chakras. Most people never get to ascend into the 4th chakra and beyond. This is what they call the 4 horsemen or the 4 devils. You need to ascend past these 4 chakras in order to enter the last 3. These are the chakras that survive death. If you are not vibrating past the heart chakra at the point of death, you reincarnate here. That's why at the point of death, they measure your heart against the scales of Ma'at, which deals with what? With balance and truth. So if your heart is heavier than the feather of Tehuti, which is Thoth or thought, he's the scribe. He's the messenger. He's the one who writes down his thoughts. So if your thoughts are still attached to this physical world, your heart is going to be heavier than the feather. This means that your heart has to be light when they measure you, so that they can understand, oh, this person is no longer attached to the physical realm. You're not attached to your children. You're not attached to your job. You're not attached to wanting to do certain things. It doesn't mean, disattachment doesn't mean you don't love the things. To love something is actually to detach from it. It's like a flower. If you see a beautiful flower and you pick it up because you want it to be yours, you kill it. But if you look at a beautiful flower and you admire it from a distance, or you even get close and you smell it, oh, it smells nice. It's a red rose. Oh, it's a sunflower. And you admire it. The next day you come and you water it. It's going to stay alive for a very long time. But if you pluck it out and if you pluck it out, you kill it. Because you want to now possess it. You could say, I'm going to go put it in there, but you took it from its natural place. So that's just an example I'm giving. I'm not saying don't pick flowers. Next thing people are like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just giving you an example of detachment of the crown chakra. So they measure your heart against the feather to show, is this person still attached to who they are, to the idea, which is the ego? Who you think you are. You think you are this person. You think you are your body. You have become accustomed to your body because in your involution, spirit put a lot of focus into the manifestation of this body. But that spirit that God, or that spirit, or the focus that spirit has put into the body is not necessarily who you are. It is the idea you have created yourself to be within this illusion so that this game can take place, so that God can experience itself as me, as you, as reflections of each other. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. You are your neighbor. So these are the mysteries, or this video right here is giving you the mysteries of the chakras. The chakras are realms, as I say, they are realms of thought. When you think in certain chakras, you begin to act a certain way. When you are only thinking in the root chakra, you are dealing with what? The first chakra is about you, my survival. So if you are a person in power and you are only locked into this chakra, you're going to be looking at the survival of yourself. Sex, the second chakra, if you don't open all the other chakras, you won't know how to balance. You're going to be misaligned. So you're going to be ruled by sexual lusts. Lust is what blocks the second chakra. You're going to just lust. And lust is not always just sex. You're just going to lust for things. Power. People are dominated and ruled by the need to want to be powerful, to dominate others, because they have not opened the mysteries of the heart. The heart, once you open it, it teaches you connectivity. And that's why Africans actually were given to the mysteries of the universe, because we understood what Ubuntu, that Umuntu, Muntu, Ngabantu, that's the heart chakra principle. Umuntu, Muntu, that's a heart chakra thing. It understands connectivity. Once you can understand connectivity, boom, you can be given the secrets to the universe. That's why Black people have always been dealing with extraterrestrial life, with life beyond just the physical. Because we understood at a certain time in our development that, all is one. If I am and you are, I'm one with the tree. That's why they could understand and be able to even talk to plants and trees and be able to understand medicine, because the tree could talk to you in a dream. Because why? You have opened up your heart space. You are connected with Mother Earth, with Gaia, with Lefazi, Umhlaba, whatever you want to call it, Terra, the however many names you want to give her, him, Geb, what do you want to call her, him? It's infinite. So once you begin to understand that, then you can begin to deal with other beings as well. That's why we were dealing with neighbors on a celestial level. We were dealing with beings from Arcturus. We were dealing with entities from Sirius, from Draco. We were dealing with beings from Orion, even from beings from different galaxies, because we were the stewards of this planet. We were the key holders. We were the key makers. We were the ones that when other higher beings wanted information into this particular realm, into this particular Earth, which is a galactic seed library. The Earth is a seed planet. It's a womb. It's a school. It's the heart of God. When you look at the word earth and heart and you twist the words around, they create the same thing. Earth and heart, it's the same. The heart chakra is the earth, Mother Earth. This right here, green, it's abundance. So once you can understand this, the mysteries of the universe begin to open to you. Because why? If you don't have love, but you have knowledge, you begin to act like other beings, which what now when you're talking about reptilians and all these other beings, these are highly intellectual beings, but they don't have the compassion or they don't have access into the emotional body. So now they begin to use intellect like the Western mind does, like the Western man, to use knowledge to want to dominate the earth. We had the knowledge, but we didn't use it to want to dominate. We were coherent with the earth. We knew, as Abubabu Krelo Muto teach, we knew about the wheel. We knew about certain things, but to create those things, yea, God forbid. Because why? Just because you knew something doesn't mean that you had to act it out. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Because you knew certain things doesn't mean that you have to act that thing out. That's why we were given the secrets. That's why we were given the mysteries into the whole universe, because we understood certain things like, damn, I know I can make a car, but if I make a car, I'm going to have to begin to make roads, and to make roads, I'm going to have to cut trees, or I know I could do the, it's vision. We had that because the heart chakra was open. The Western man, when he got the knowledge, he didn't understand it. He couldn't understand it. So now he began to use the knowledge in a negative way. He inverted the knowledge. They inverted the knowledge. They took what was within and made it outside. So now they try to dominate the earth. They try to dominate other people. They try to dominate everything, trying to dominate and conquer everything. Try to go to Mars. You want to go pollute Mars. Now you're just trying to go everywhere when there's nowhere to go but inside, because inside is outside being projected. These are the mysteries of the universe. It's you. It's a you and I verse. It's Jesus. It's genius. It's G. It's us. It's Heru. It's the hero within all of us. All of us are the hero. All of us are heroes in our own movies. And together as humanity, we become like a collective movie. We are the prodigal son that left his father's house through the descension or through the descending into the chakras. We condense like water condenses from gas to liquid to solid. And then within that very same involution, now you begin to evolve. So now this body, you take it and you evolve it, but now you evolve it in a spiritual manner. How can a man be born again? By the renewing of the mind. Accessing the chakras on a mental, etheric level. These are the mysteries of the universe. These are the mysteries of you. The mysteries of this, the mysteries of the beauty of who you are, unlocking the seals, the 7 seals, the 7 chakras. You have multiple ones, 12 chakras, which also will deal with now you understanding solar, understanding the earth, understanding the solar system, understanding the Milky Way galaxy. And then you have chakras that deal with the universe. You have chakras that deal with the multiverse. Each chakra is an energy point, but you can't access certain knowledge until you access those particular chakras, young man. But the heart is always there. You always have to open the heart. The heart is the heart is the key. This is the key. If you can open the heart, then the things will be, then the whole universe will begin to open up itself to you, because the universe is you and it wants you to explore it. You want to explore yourself. In the same way that we wear clothes, our bodies are clothes. We are wearing clothes. We are light bodies. We are light beings. The body is light. Your atoms are light. You know that? Atoms, that's light rotating at speeds unfathomable. You are light, and you are made up of what? You are made up of atoms. And atoms are 99.9% empty space. So you are not even here. You are not even here. All of this is an illusion. It's holographic, as I told you, but you are a light being. You are projecting a certain aspect of yourself here. You are elsewhere projecting here so that you can experience this. But most of your consciousness is not even here. Right now, as you are listening to this, there's parts of you that are experiencing different dimensions, different states, all at the same time. But you can begin to pull your higher self so that it begins to embody you at its fullest, and then your body will begin to become now transformed. You become transfigured. You become now the luminous being. You change, you alchemize the body from a physical, corporeal body into now a spiritual being, or into a spiritual body, which is what they call the light body. You are light. You yourself, you are light. Your body is slowed down light. It's a slowed down vibration. When the vibration begins to pick up, it picks up when the DNA, the ancient DNA, begins to kick in. You have DNA that is locked away, which in the West, told you, they left brain, they call it junk DNA. As if the universe would give you anything that's junk and doesn't work. No, that other 12 strands of DNA, it deals with the invisible. It deals with the unseen. The two, you have 12 strands. The 2 strands of DNA only deal with the physical. The physical that you see, there's another 10 strands that deal, which they call junk DNA. It deals with the spiritual, with the unmanifest, with the chaos world. And that's dormant. That's why they say you only use 10% of your brain, because you have not yet accessed that part. You have not yet opened those chakras. And it doesn't mean that you're going to begin to fly when you, no. It's flying is not, I mean, you're flying dreams. This is beyond just you flying. It's tapping into God's source energy, understanding yourself as the creator, the created, all at the same time. All at the same time. You are oh my God. If you knew how amazing you are, if you knew, yeah, hey, woo, woo, if you knew what you could do, woo, woo. Our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. I love this code. Our biggest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. That's our biggest fear. If you knew who you are. And that's why you have to forget. Because for you to exist here, you need to forget, because your body would blow up if you were to remember all at the same time everything that you are, all of the past lives you've had. All of that joy, you couldn't contain it. All of that pain, you couldn't contain it. You know, so you experience lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And that information gets stored in your particular chakras. And as you grow in consciousness, you have to learn how to access them. You have to learn how to access them. I think that's where I'm going to drop it off. If ever, what I need... We'll see what the Spirit says if we might need a part 2 about the chakras. But as I said, these are vortex, wheels of light, spinning light that pull in and push out information. Don't function on the 3. Rise above yourself. You are a spiritual being, man. The reason that you think you are physical, I'm going to work a 9 to 5. It's cool to go to work and do a 9 to 5. It's fine. So long as you don't put that as the apex of yourself. What? I'm a musician. I'm number 1 on the charts. That's earth things, man. Yeah, be number 1 on the charts, man. But like also be number 1 within you. It always has to come back within you. Any field that you are in, it's cool to be in that field so long as you understand the God within. So long as you want to open these chakras. Not everybody will open them in this lifetime. That's another thing. Many are called, but few are chosen. Peace, love, and light to you all, family. Until the next video. Love you all. I think I should exit the same way I came. That would have been cool if it just went like that. But it's cool. I'm God. I could do whatever I want.